Before we present this week's Weekend Reads, a question: do you enjoy our weekly roundup? If so, we could really use your help. Would you consider a tax-deductible donation to support Weekend Reads and our daily work? Thanks in advance. The week at Retraction Watch featured allegations of text reuse by a Harvard professor, news about a new predatory publishing scam, and the refusal of a journal to retract a paper by Paolo Macchiarini. Here's what was happening elsewhere. Italian scientists have been citing themselves more often since a controversial law came into effect in 2010 demanding academics meet productivity thresholds to gain promotion, reports Dalmeet Singh Chawla. Nature Index. A new study finds that adequate statistical power was most often present in clinical trials with a male first author and a female last author, and the authors conclude that our results demonstrate the importance of gender diversity in research collaborations and emphasize the need to increase the number of women in senior positions in medicine. E-Life. 2 authors who plagiarized are going to jail after not paying a fine. Unicess. Salute the point: the Indian government is barring Pakistani scholars from participating in a conference in New Delhi co-sponsored by an American academic association. Elizabeth Redden. Inside Higher Ed. The greater the publication pressure are the more publications, a researcher reported. The higher the misconduct frequency score. Biorexiv. Read AQ. Douglas Altman, one of the world's leading experts on clinical trials, has died at the age of 69. The BMJ. Via Twitter, the growth of preprints and cross-ref data is 10 times that of papers, according to Jennifer Lin. Is science really broken? David Corcoran speaks to the Annenberg Center's Kathleen Hall-Jameson, who says no, and it's risky to talk about a crisis. And Dark podcast: can auditing scientific research help fix its reproducibility crisis? Dalmeet Singh Chawla. Pacific Standard. How I Fail, talks to Daniel Lakins, who studies, among other things, meta-science. Veronica Cheplygina. I have decided my contribution to science will be better served by not signing my reviews. Kristen Nagel on gender and transparency. The takeaway: discourse around graduate student mentorship must expand to include how to prepare them to respond to critical commentary on their work. University Affairs. City-based advocate and Congress spokesperson Shailesh Amin on Sunday demanded action against the 2 professors who are accused of plagiarism. Times of India. We find a large disparity between the strength of language as presented to the research consumer and the underlying strength of causal inference among the studies most widely shared on social media. But read the caveats. PLOS 1. Fascinating to hear from E-Life that people create fake ORCID accounts to bypass ID requirement for annotations, and that their comments weren't bad, just pseudonymous, says Richard Sever. Twitter. The world's largest GMO study was launched by Russians in 2014. Then it disappeared. Dan Vergano. BuzzFeed. Want to build a great scientific abstract? Hilda Bastian has a 6-point checklist, and a cartoon. PLOS blogs. Sloppy science happens more than you think, writes Diana Gadig. LeapSmeg. The replication crisis is largely concerned with known problems, such as the lack of replication standards, non-availability of data, or p-hacking. One hitherto unknown problem is the potential for software companies' changes to the algorithms used for calculations to cause discrepancies between 2 sets of reported results. Anastasia Ershova and Gerald Schneider, LSE Impact blog. Questionable research practices seem to be so common that it's almost the norm, says Lex Bowder. Erica Cervini, the Australian, a former professor at the University of California, Davis filmed individuals showering without their consent, reports Hannah Holzer. The California Aggie. A new study shows a correlation between attitudes towards misconduct and self-reported problematic behaviors. Accountability in research, like Retraction Watch. You can make a tax-deductible contribution to support our growth. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, add us to your RSS reader. Sign up for an email every time there's a new post. Look for the follow button at the lower right part of your screen, or subscribe to our daily digest. If you find a retraction that's not in our database, you can let us know here. For comments or feedback, email us at team@retractionwatch.com.